Hello, everyone. We are going to get right into the second day here of 7.5. Hopefully, if you're in A group, you're getting a chance to watch this video in case you have anything that you missed from Wednesday. You want to make sure that you feel good about this stuff. I went over this really quickly on Wednesday, so I just want to make sure we're all on the same page and we are ready to get going next week with a little bit more complicated factoring. This is really going to be the same process that we did with the day one. All we're really adding is solving these equations after we've gone through and factored. So let's look here. Let's look at number 13. Okay, we've got this equation, and this is something I saw a lot of people doing. You're not just taking each one of these terms and solving it. You've got to go through and factor to solve these different polynomial equations. We've got to break this down into our two little binomials. Okay, our g plus something, g minus something, whatever it is going to be for this problem in particular. Okay, so we can draw here, I can draw my little x, and I'm going to say, okay, I know that I'm going to add up to negative 13 to that b term right there in the middle, and I'm going to multiply to this c, this last term, my 40. So I have to think, what are those two numbers, okay, that I'm going to fill into my binomials. These are really messy. I'm going to redraw those. Okay, so I'm going to have g and g. I don't know what I'm adding or subtracting in those binomials. I have to think, okay, I have two numbers. They multiply to 40, and they add up to negative 13. Okay, so 2 and 20 aren't going to do it. I have to think of what are those signs going to be. If they multiply to a positive number and they add to a negative, these are both going to be negative numbers, all right? They're going to multiply to a positive number, but they're going to add up to a negative number. So I'm thinking, okay, it's not 4 and 10, but 8 and 5. This is why the factor sheet makes your life a lot easier, okay? Negative 8 plus negative 5 add up to negative 13. So I can go, okay, g minus 8, g minus 5. Okay, this is basically where we got yesterday. We factored them into these two binomials. Now we've got to go just this one extra little teeny step and say, okay, well, if I'm solving this from last week, I remember that, okay, each one of these factors has to be set equal to 0. I've got to think, okay, what's g minus 8 equals 0 going to be? And what's g minus 5 equal to 0 going to be? Okay, usually that math is pretty easy. You're going to add 8. And I'm going to get g equal to positive 8. And, okay, add your 5. I'm going to get g equal to positive 5. Okay, those are going to be my two answers there for this polynomial. Okay, so really, you're factoring, and then you're saying, okay, set each of these factors just equal to 0. Let's do one more, just kind of normal one. Let's do 14. These are all kind of the same. Yeah, let's do 14. We've got k squared minus 5k plus 6 equal to 0. So again, I need to think, what are my two binomials going to be? And then solve each one, set each one equal to 0. Okay, I want to think about my little x here. I need to think, okay, something has got to add up to 6. Sorry, I did that backwards. It's got to add up to negative 5, the middle term, and it's multiplying to 6. All right, so if it multiplies to a positive, adds to a negative, just like that previous one, these are both going to be negative numbers. All right, so think about things that multiply to 6. 1 and 6 aren't going to work, but 2, negative 2, and negative 3 are going to add up to negative 5. Okay, so I'm going to have k minus 2 and k minus 3. I'm going to equal each of those to 0, okay? If I have k minus 2 equal to 0, k minus 3 equal to 0, let's see what I get. Most of us can probably skip this step, but I want us to know what we're doing. Okay, k is equal to 2, and then same deal. I'm going to add my 3. I've got k equal to 3. Okay, I've got 2 different answers here. Right? I want to do one more because I know this is really a new skill for us. Let's do 18. Okay, the problem with 18, I think...
Bernie Valesky, please call extension 6003. Bernie Valesky, please call extension 6003. Thank you.
It's like you're right here at school, even though you're home. All right, so you've got 18. These problems all down here at the bottom, they all have one thing in common. None of them are equal to 0. That should be setting off an alarm bell in your head. You can't solve these problems if they're not equal to 0 already. Okay, so that's when we need to first rearrange these so you have all 3 terms kind of lined up. Then you can start going on with your factoring. Right? So this doesn't work. Some people are going to try and like factor out the t, something like that. You want to get that 8 over to the other side. You have to have it equal to 0 or this whole process doesn't work. I'm going to subtract 8 from each side here. And I get t squared minus 7t minus 8 equal to 0. Okay, now this is just a normal factoring problem. I can just go on ahead, think about what those 2 binomials are going to be. Okay, I know that they're going to add up to my middle term, which is negative 7, and they're going to multiply to my last term here, my c term, which is negative 8. Right, if they multiply to a negative number, I know that one is going to be positive and one is negative. So I have to think, okay, I know that if they add up to a negative number, my higher number is going to be negative. Okay, so if I think, well, okay, 2 and 4 aren't going to add up to negative 7, but I've got 8 and 1. If I'm going to end up with negative 7, that 8 is going to be my negative number. My 1 is going to be my positive. Okay, think the math through in your head if you're not sure. Okay, positive 1 minus 8 is negative 7. Positive 1 times negative 8 is negative 8. Okay, so that checks out. So t plus 1 and t minus 8. Awesome. I'm going to set each one of those equal to 0. Alrighty, I'm going to subtract 1. We thought I get t is equal to negative 1. And I get t is equal to positive 8. Right? So that's what your answer should look like. You should get 2 different answers. You got to split it into those binomials first. Go ahead and get started on that day 2 assignment. And just a quick note, I know a lot of us are the A group people watching this video to get the day 2 assignment, but I know a lot of us are out on quarantine right now. Don't freak out too much. I know a lot of freshmen are in the same boat as you right now. So just keep doing what you can keep doing. Watch the videos. If you are really struggling, please send me an email. If you need help on, a certain question or you're just behind, we can find a time to meet on Google Meets. Please don't, let being in quarantine get you down or anything. Just let me know how you're doing, and if I can do anything to help you out, please send me a note, and I shall hopefully see you guys soon.